Latin. It was the language of the ancient Romans almost 2,000 years ago. Dating from the early Roman Empire, this classical language is still very much alive today, influencing many aspects of our daily lives, including the way we communicate in our modern world. Many people may be surprised to know that more than 60% of our English vocabulary comes from Latin.
We use it every day in our money, in our vocabulary that we use in talking about the weather, about the time of day, about the percentage, in fact, is one of the words that comes from Latin. And the higher the education, the higher the percentage from Latin. That is true then in theology and in medicine, law, the sciences, where the specialty language is almost exclusively from Latin and Greek. And so this study that we have in vocabulary is logical, it's true, it works, and it helps the people who are working in these areas. And so Latin is with us every day.
A quarter of the world's population speak languages directly derived from Latin, most notably Spanish, French, and Italian, which are known as the Romance languages. But many educators say that learning Latin opens the doors to understanding many other languages, including Russian and German.
So when a student knows Latin, when a person knows Latin, they're well on the way to learning the other languages, because the grammar, the structure, and the vocabulary of these languages are all related. And when a student studies Latin, they know the questions to ask when they're studying other languages. So they're well on the way to mastering the study of languages and the other languages that are related to Latin.
Of course, one of the premier works of Latin literature is the Aeneid. It sounds beautiful, although we don't know exactly how Latin sounded. Supposedly it was beautiful, like I will now say. Arma virumque cano, Troiae qui primus laboris, Italiam fato, profugus laviniaque venet.
Classical Latin is being taught in many schools today and is often combined with Greek in the study of classics, which is the study of all aspects of ancient Greece and Rome. For more than 30 years, the National Committee of Latin and Greek, or NCLG, has been dedicated to the advancement of classical languages and civilization curriculum in North America. In fact, these subjects are gaining popularity because of their subject matter and strong ability to help students gain an academic edge.
Students gain an academic edge by having an advanced vocabulary, by logical thinking, and by being able to think about language in the way that an educated person would think about language. The vocabulary of Latin and the thought process that goes into it gives a guidance for reading and for understanding. And Latin students have annually been at the top of the class in the SAT scores, which are so important for college admission.
Modern classical studies not only focus on Latin, but also on ancient history, mythology, and culture, all in an effort to provide an overall understanding of the languages and their context. Many teachers are working hard to ensure the coursework is not only relevant to today's students, but that the methods are also exciting.
The approach of sort of standing up and giving them endings and saying, this is what you're going to do, now write these sentences, that's gone. Even if you used a grammar-based approach, that's gone. You have a whole lot of other things you have to do. You've got to make it relevant. You've got to show them how Latin works in their world.
No matter what your son or daughter is going to do, their lives will be enhanced by this. When they go to an art museum, when they're traveling down the line, and they see a piece where a woman is sprouting leaves, they're going to go, oh, hey, that's Apollo and Daphne, because they've read the mythology, having studied Latin, and they would recognize the allusion.
Learning Latin is becoming even more important as students are realizing they must communicate effectively to compete and live in an increasingly multi-ethnic global society.
Every aspect of our society, our world, I can't think of a single aspect that we did not get from the civilizations of antiquity. It's all-encompassing. Most particularly, of course, I think I like the history, the military aspects, the political, Much of our government, of course, comes from that. That is one of the more obvious derivations.
In our Latin classrooms, we teach more than just language. We teach the context in which that language is used, in the culture, the family life, the history, the government. And when we look at the Mediterranean world, the Roman Empire, we see that that is at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, and Europe. And this was in itself a global, ethnic, and multiple world. And so this could be considered a laboratory for the study of the ethnic and the global society in which we ourselves live.
Academic leaders believe that as Latin courses continue to flourish in classrooms throughout America, there will be increased employment opportunities for Latin teachers.
Traditionally, Latin and Greek have been high school and junior high school classes and even college courses. But today, one of the exciting things to see is that Latin is growing so much in the elementary school areas.
One of the main goals of the National Committee for Latin and Greek is to raise public awareness of the study of Latin, Greek, and classics through contacts with schools, universities, and the news media.
The National Committee for Latin and Greek works with the American Classical League, the National Junior Classical League, and the National Latin Exam, which has over 100,000 students a year taking their exam from all 50 states and from several foreign countries. We also provide materials available through the American Classical League Resource Center. We have posters that we have provided by some of our own committee members. They are delightful, enjoyable, and unique in the way that they present the material. We're proud of those. And so we can provide the material for administrators through our own professional meetings, but also through the administrators' meetings and their journals and their websites. Of course, the best source of our information is through our own website, promotelatin.org.
I think that the more you know, the more you are prepared for anything that will be thrown at you in life. And so having that base in Latin gives you such a wide base of knowledge that it will impress people, I guess, at times with who you are. But more importantly, I think the person who studies and knows more about their roots, that person feels better about themselves and they have a better quality of life.
To find out more about the study of Latin and its educational benefits, visit promotelatin.org. Latin, more than just a language.